Hello everyone, I am Ankit and you're watching StudyIQ IAS English channel. Now if you try to look at the newspaper these days, every day, I'm 100% sure about this, you will find one or two news relating to Gaza Strip. Now Gaza Strip is a location quite close to Mediterranean Sea, but why is Gaza Strip in news so much in these days, right? So that we need to understand, and we'll be covering in our today's discussion political aspects of Gaza, geographical features of Gaza, and also we'll try to understand the recent developments that have happened in the region, which makes this region very important from exams point of view, right? So let us start our today's discussion by understanding the context. Now, as you can see from the image behind me, this is a daily affair in Gaza because Israeli Air Force, it bombs and pounds these targets located in the city of Gaza. Now, in this regard, recently multiple airstrikes have struck Gaza, particularly the southern city known as Khan Younis, and this has killed more than 100 people. Now, this airstrike conducted by Israel comes as a surprise, particularly when US President Donald Trump is in the region visiting countries in Middle East like Qatar, like Saudi Arabia, and it was expected that he will also visit Israel, but he decided not to visit Israel this time in his Middle Eastern visit. Now, also it was expected that when US President is visiting this particular area, it might lead to ceasefire deal that happens between the Hamas as well as Israel, and it might lead to pounding of these targets located in Gaza city. But this did not happen. Similarly, it was also expected that renewal of humanitarian aid might be done so that people who are affected by the war living in Gaza, they might be supported through food, through medicines, etc. But now, even after that, Israeli blockade of this region of Gaza has continued, and now this has been 3 months since the Israel imposed blockade in Gaza. So that is why Gaza has been in news recently. So in this regard, let us try to understand first, where is this Gaza located? Now, as you can see from this map on my right here, Gaza is located very close to Mediterranean Sea. So this is the Gaza Strip I'm talking about. So you can see it borders Egypt, particularly this plateau of Sinai Plateau. This is Sinai Peninsula, sorry. And on this region, it is bordering Israel, right? So this is located very close to Mediterranean Sea. Now let us look at the zoom map of Gaza. You can see on the Egyptian border, there is this city called as Rafah. You might have heard the word Rafah crossing. This was the crossing that happened between Gaza and Egypt, and people used to take this route to move to Egypt, right? Similarly, Khan Younis, we were talking about this city located here where the bombings are currently ongoing, and other important cities, this Gaza city, Jabalia as well as Beit Hanun, these are located in Gaza. And as you can see, it shares borders with two countries, Egypt as well as Israel, right? And this is located in the Mediterranean Sea region. Understood from the map. Now let us look at the important geographical features of the city and region of Gaza. Now this is a part of Levant region. What is Levant region? Levant region is basically the region which borders the eastern shores of Mediterranean Sea. So countries like Gaza Strip here, on the broader thing you can call it as Palestine. Similarly, countries like Israel, Syria, Jordan, these are the countries that are called as Levant countries, okay? And the climate of this region automatically is the Mediterranean form of climate. What is Mediterranean form of climate? It is basically hot and semi-arid climate that is prevailing in the region, and naturally in the Mediterranean climate, you will see crops like citrus fruits are grown a lot. So crops like oranges, crops like grapes, these are grown in large number in the region, and also dates, olive, etc. These are also grown, and this is grown in the region of Gaza also, right? So this is the geographical features of Gaza. It belongs to Levant region. Levant is basically the eastern coast areas of the Mediterranean Sea, whereas climate is Mediterranean form of climate, a hot semi-arid climate. And the major crops, most notably, are the citrus fruits like oranges and grapes, in addition to dates and olives. Now let us talk about the political features. Gaza, it is a territory occupying 140 square miles of land alongside the Mediterranean Sea, and it is located northeast of the Sinai Peninsula. I have told you this region, right? This is the Sinai Peninsula, and it is located northeast of Sinai Peninsula. Now the bordering countries of Gaza is Egypt towards its southwest, and towards its east and north it is bordering Israel. Now Gaza is of the smaller of the two Palestinian territories. So state of Palestine consists of West Bank region, and state of Palestine also consist of Gaza Strip. Now Gaza Strip earlier or even today is ruled by a radical Islamist organization also designated as a terrorist organization, Hamas, whereas West Bank, it is ruled by Palestinian Liberation Organization. The historic head of the PLO was Yasser Arafat, right? Now these are the two Palestinian territories. One of the Palestinian territory is the Gaza Strip, which we are talking about, right? Now the history of this region is that during the 6-day war, which happened in 1967, this territory was actually taken over by Israel, and Israel continued to rule this territory over 25 years long, and after it relinquished its control over the region in phased manner to the government authority of Palestinian Authority as per the Oslo Accords, which happened in Norway. Now this Oslo Accords was brokered by United States of America. So you can understand US has already played a key role in the politics of the region, which you can understand from its participation and mediation, which happened in Oslo Accord. And the Oslo Accord was the first instance where Israel directly interacted with Arab nation, that was the Palestinian Authority, right? So this is the basic political history of Gaza, that it is ruled by major players in the region, and automatically it is belonging very close to the Sinai Peninsula, and therefore this Gaza Strip was overtaken or ruled by Israel for more than 25 years, and it gave away the control only to Palestinian authorities after the signing of Oslo Accord. And Palestine currently consists of two regions, West Bank as well as Gaza Strip. Understood? Now let us move to the recent developments that have happened in the region. Now, a few months back in February 2025, US President Donald Trump announced a radical policy shift towards the Israel-Palestinian conflict. He proposed that the United States should indeed take over Gaza Strip. Why he has actually proposed? You can argue that Mr. Trump historically has been a builder, so he always wants to build and develop this Gaza Strip also. Now, this is a very controversial topic that was raised by US President Donald Trump. His proposals included that Palestinians, they should first of all leave the territory of Gaza, and he suggested that neighboring countries like Jordan, like Egypt and Arab states in the region, they should accept Gazan refugees, and after the Palestinians vacate Gaza, US will take over Gaza and will be responsible for many things. First, US will conduct unexploded, or it will clear unexploded bombs and weapons in the region, and after that it will develop Gaza economically, making it a Riviera of Middle East region, right? And while doing so, it will create thousands of jobs and make it a model of prosperity, which might lead to economic development of Gaza and ultimately will bring prosperity in the region. So this was a very radical proposal by US President, saying that you vacate the region of its natives and let US develop it economically and sell the lands to rich people, right? So automatically this radical proposal met with a lot of opposition. First of all, major players that have stakes in the region like Saudi Arabia rejected the proposal directly, reaffirming its long-standing support for having an independent Palestinian state. So how will you make a Palestinian state independent when you take a parts of its territory and remove the people living in it? Similarly, European and global leaders like US close allies like Australia, like Ireland, like Germany, even rivals like China, they criticize this Trump's plan, and they have reiterated their support for a two-state solution. Two-state solution means this region will consist of two independent nations, that is Israel and Palestine, right? And this has historically also been India's stand also, that India also looks at this region from a two-state solution perspective. Similarly, Turkey, it says that forced deportations of Palestinians, it is unacceptable to them, and the PLA authority, which is responsible for ruling over the Palestine, the President Mahmoud Abbas, he urged UN to protect Palestinian rights, calling Trump's plan a violation of international law, that is violation of sovereignty of state of Palestine. Now let us understand why even the close allies of US in the region like Egypt and Jordan were rejecting the US President's plan. First, let us talk about Jordan's. Now, Jordan already has hosted over 2 million Palestinian refugees. That is 1 in 5 people in Jordan. They consist of Palestinian origin. Similarly, there has been rise of Palestinian nationalist groups in Jordan, like Muslim Brotherhood linked Islamic Action Front, and they have threatened the monarchy that prevails in Jordan. So automatically, from security point of view, from societal disruption point of view, Jordan does not want to take additional refugees from Palestine, particularly Gaza. Similarly, Egypt has also expressed concerns in a much similar manner to Jordan, saying that it cracked down on the Islamist organization Muslim Brotherhood since 2013, and accepting displaced Palestinians could actually strengthen the Islamic movement and disrupt the overall Egyptian society. So that is why both of these are close allies of US, and they have even rejected the plan proposed by US Trump. So this is the today's discussion regarding Gaza. Let's see if you are able to solve this question. This actually is a PYQ of 2022, and it asks you to identify the term Levant, right? So this is the question, and there is another question that I will tell you. This is a practice question that I've curated. Which of the following countries they share land borders with Gaza Strip? So what do you think of the President Trump's plan? Is it good or is it bad for the region? Do let me know in the comments, and do not forget to make sure and comment with the right answer to these practice questions, right? And if you want to download the notes that I've used to tell you the class, you can download it from my Telegram channel. This is called as ATS Live. So you can either search ATS Live on the top right hand corner of your app, and alternatively you can scan the QR code. This will take you to my channel. Okay, so this is all for today's discussion. I'll see you again tomorrow at 9. Until then, please have a very good night.